195.1.
That's actually a lot lighter than I thought I was gonna be. It is the next morning, and there's one thing that I forgot to do in last night's vlog that I have to do this morning, and that is to do my macros. One of the things that I firmly believe in is that the day starts the night before. If you want to have a successful day, you have to prepare for a successful day. And so you prepare for that successful day before that day starts. And one of the ways that I do that when it comes to dieting and getting in shape is to make sure that I have my food planned out the day before I consume it all. So that way when I wake up in the morning, I just know what I'm gonna eat. That way I don't have to think about it. There's no questions about it. There's no deviating from it. I know that if I just execute the plan, then I will have hit my macros perfectly, and I mean perfectly. Then all the stress of what am I gonna eat today? What am I gonna do to hit my macros? How am I gonna fit this in? It's not there. It's just wake up and execute. And then once I'm done executing and I've completed my macros for that day, then I plan the next day. And I just repeat that cycle over and over again until I have the desired result. So because I forgot to do that last night, I woke up this morning and before I ate anything, I did that first. And one of the things that's important to note here, and we're probably gonna do this several times in this series, is that if I have a day where I know I'm gonna have something, let's say like sushi, or we're gonna go out and have pizza or something like that, well then I have to plan accordingly. So I have to look up the restaurant, find the menu, figure out what I'm gonna select on the menu, and then reverse engineer that. So I put that in my macros first, and then I work around that to fit it in. And if I can't fit it in, then I don't eat it. This way of operating just provides the most amount of flexibility with the type of constraints that I'm working with, because my macros, though they're very unpopular with the people that follow me, my macros are very strict. They're 200 grams of carbs, 75 grams of fat, and 275 grams of protein. And I know that people who follow me and who have seen these macros before, they say you don't need to consume that much protein. But listen, for me, it's about the result that I get. And I have far and away had the best results I've ever had consuming 275 grams of protein. I understand what the studies say. I understand what the literature says and what data says. This is just what has worked for me. And so this is what I will continue to do. But anyway, I got a lot of work to do today. And again, I didn't go to jiu-jitsu because my shoulder is just my fucking shoulder. Even going from one position sleeping to another is very painful. It doesn't hurt at rest. Like right now, it doesn't hurt at all. But if I'm laying down in bed and I go from, laying on my back to laying on my side, for some reason that really hurts my shoulder, and that makes me think that rolling around on the ground in a high intensity scramble or jiu-jitsu roll is just gonna be a bad idea. We had to switch to the phone because I'm headed to the gym right now, Planet Fitness to be exact. And for those that have followed me a long time, you know that I have a beef with Planet Fitness. I hate their business model. I hate the fact that they're basically set up in such a fashion that incentivizes people to not get in shape. It's a genius business model. It's a great moneymaker, but it's horrible for actually getting people in shape. Nonetheless, I have to bury the hatchet today. I have to let bygones be bygones because I gotta train legs. And in order to properly train my legs, I need heavy weight. And if I'm gonna use heavy weight, that means I can't do certain exercises because of my shoulder. I can't put a barbell on my shoulders. I can't hold heavy weight in my hand. That means we are being relegated to leg machines, which I genuinely don't actually mind at all. I much prefer doing legs on leg machines than I do doing free weights. I don't know why, I just find it more enjoyable. I feel like I can push myself harder, and maybe that's because I'm not so worried about getting injured. But anyway, that's what we're doing. That's the workout today. Honestly, my split has just been upper, lower, upper, lower, upper, lower indefinitely until my body feels tired, and in which case I'm going to take a rest day. But it has not felt that way yet. So I'm just gonna keep spamming upper body and lower body on back-to-back days until my body gets tired. Because right now I can't really do jiu-jitsu and my body is adapted to a large amount of stimulus. So lifting every single day is really not that big of a deal in comparison to what I do normally. All right, I am back home. It is 10:04 p.m., so we really did a good job vlogging today. I've just been busy with all kinds of work, data transfer, organizing files, that, and of course, being a dad and whatnot. So I basically worked out and then went and picked up some things that I need for file organization. I picked up an SSD. I'm transferring all my shit from a standard hard drive, which is like old shit, to this new shit, which is a lot better, apparently. You can always bet on me being like 4 to 5 years behind on camera technology or just technology in general. I don't keep up with technology. I don't keep up with like what the new thing is. I just show people that do know what I use and they're like, you're still fucking using that? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, dude, it's what I've always used. Because here's the thing about me. I have always had to make do with what I have. When I first started making content in 2008, I had nothing. I had a little tiny Logitech webcam that I stole from my sister, and then I used it on the computer that I had, which was not a good computer, and then slowly from there, over time, I upgraded to whatever the next best thing that I could afford was. So I have just become accustomed to using what I have until it's completely unreasonable to use it anymore. For example, I got this Sony a7 IV like a week ago, and prior to that, I had a Canon 5D Mark IV that I got in 2017. That was 9 years ago. I also do it with other stuff. I've been driving the car that I drive now for 10 years. I've been wearing the same pair of sandals since my wife and I first met. That was also 10 years ago. So I'm just kind of that guy that doesn't really fix things that aren't broken. If I like my sandals, I'm gonna keep wearing them. If my camera does the job that I need it to do, why do I gotta replace it? And if this piece of technology holds files, why do I have to upgrade it to something new? And of course, for some things, there's a legitimate reason for it. The reason that I switched to an SSD is because it is like 10 to 20 times faster and it's shock resistant. In 2017, when I was getting my career going in photography and videography and whatnot, I dropped the only hard drive that I had and I lost like 30% of the files that were on there. That hard drive contained everything that I had ever made ever. So there's a legitimate reason to switching to this. Should I have done it 5 years ago? For sure. But here we are. Anyway, that's my little rant about that. As far as my macros went today, I didn't hit them perfectly because I was planning to have ground chicken for dinner instead of ground beef, but my wife ended cooking up ground beef because I have ground beef every other night. So it's no fault of hers. She did the right thing because 99% of the time I'm having ground beef. But that does mean we went a little over on our fats. So we scaled back the carbs a little bit to try to offset that. I think I'm gonna try to go to jiu-jitsu tomorrow. I think the shoulder's not feeling great, but I just feel like I have to do something. 3 days is kind of my limit of not going to jiu-jitsu. 3 days of not being on the mat is where it really starts to mess with my head. So I have to go to the mat tomorrow, even if it's awful. So that's the plan. I'm sorry I didn't film more today. I was kind of wrapped up in other things, but you know, that's gonna be the nature of these videos sometimes. Sometimes I'm just super busy and I'm unable to film certain things and it's just kind of me talking for the video. But the point is that I do a rep. That's the point of this video series. I'm trying to get back in the groove of creating things and not just falling back on what I've always done, at least these past 3 years, which is the short form content. I talked about it in a main channel video, but I'm just super burnt out on it. I don't love doing it the way that I used to, and I just want to do more, and I just want to do different things. I have to do things whether I feel like doing them or not, and I have to make creating content a part of my daily life again. Both because it's good for my personal brand, but also because that's just always been who I am, and when I'm not making stuff, I'm just not me. So we're gonna leave it at that today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Be sure to subscribe, and that's about it.